Good evening, dear guests, esteemed colleagues, and most importantly, our young participants. It is a pleasure to welcome you all to this year's Youth for Entrepreneurship event, where we gather to inspire and empower the next generation of entrepreneurs in Gozo. Today, we come together not only to foster your entrepreneurial skills, but to direct them towards an urgent purpose, reducing waste and creating a sustainable future. Before we continue, I would like to take a moment to extend our sincere appreciation to our partners, whose support has been invaluable in making this event possible. We offer special thanks to Agencia Zaza for their unwavering commitment to support young people. Their participation enables us to connect with you, our young participants, and guide you on this journey. We are also grateful to the Gozo Regional Authority, the Ministry for Economy, Enterprise and Strategic Projects, and the JA Malta Foundation for their steadfast dedication empowering Gozo's youth. Additionally, we extend our heartfelt thanks to the Ministry for Gozo for their ongoing support to our main sponsor, Bank of Valletta. I would also like to acknowledge the contributions of the Chamber's CEO, Mr. Daniel Borch, who is currently representing the Chamber abroad, as well as our manager, Mr. Jasmine Buttigieg, and our secretary, Ms. Joanne Parnis, for their dedication to this event and every initiative organized by the Chamber. In a world where sustainability is no longer a choice, but a necessity, the role of innovation has never been more critical. We need young minds like yours to step forward with the bold ideas and the courage to challenge conventional practices. You have the power to inspire change, not only in Gozo, but beyond, and to turn environmental challenges into opportunities for growth and impact. I strongly believe in the value of collaboration, even at times with competitors, as it is often the key to achieving a long-term success. Today, you have a unique opportunity to showcase projects that truly make sense and are aligned with our collective goals. The need to reduce waste and build sustainable future for Gozo has never been more urgent. By working together in the future, we can create additional opportunities that will benefit us all. The Gozo Business Chamber is proud to support initiatives like Youth for Entrepreneurship, providing you with a platform to transform your ideas into meaningful solutions. Our aim today is to encourage you to see not just the issues, but the possibilities within them, to envision a Gozo that leads by example in sustainable practices and waste reduction. As we embark on this event, I urge each one of you to engage wholeheartedly, listen, collaborate, and don't hesitate to think beyond traditional boundaries. Together, let us work towards a cleaner, greener, and more sustainable Gozo. Thank you, and I look forward to an inspiring evening ahead.
Thank you, Michael, for that warm welcome. We also look forward to an inspiring evening. I would now like to invite Miriam Toma, CEO of Agencia Zaza, to make her introductory remarks.
So good evening, President Michael Gallia, and good evening, colleagues, and good evening, young people. First of all, thank you for inviting me here. I know that this is part of a collaboration, but collaborations don't always work as good as this one. I mean, this is a good a collaboration which has been working for 6 years now. And it's a collaboration which we really have at heart as Agenzia Zaza, because it is something unique that we're doing in Gozo. So, I mean, it is really something that we really enjoy doing, we really enjoy collaborating, and we really enjoy participating in this initiative. As we were hearing, and as I have just said, collaboration is the key here. I mean, part of our policy at the agency is really collaborating with others. And this is a way on how to collaborate, because we're experts on young people, but we're not experts on everything. So the idea when you're working with young people is to try and find niches. And this is a particular niche where we are collaborating with the experts, the Gozo Business Chamber, and of course the other collaborators which followed, to make such initiative possible, to empower the young people, young Gozitans, and even Maltese young people. I mean, the idea is to try and extend and get more young Maltese people here and come up with ideas for Gozo, for them to come really with an initiative. I mean, there's no need to explain again what this project is about. We heard the presenter, we heard Michael, but really to come up with an initiative for Gozo. But one thing I also would like to point out is that throughout the process, these young people are not learning only how to come up with an initiative, this time is waste management, but also they're learning also other skills which ultimately they will use in their lives and in their careers. I mean, they have definitely learned how to work in a team. They have definitely learned how to challenge themselves. I mean, when we listen to the word enterprise means really undertaking something which is really challenging, bold, and risky. So definitely these are the skills that these young people have learned throughout, besides thinking creatively and trying to come up with something so that they would win the competition today. So I'm looking forward to listen to the young people, to listen to these ideas. I also encourage the young people to tell other young people to participate next year, because this is how these projects grow. It's the young people themselves who have to be our ambassadors for our next year project. And therefore, I wish you luck. I'm looking forward to listening, and I'm also looking forward to see whether we can also get ideas on what we can implement next. So thank you very much. Thank you for all those who have been working on this, the Gozo Business Chamber and the Agenzia Zaza Gozo. I mean, there are the youth workers here who have been embarking on this project and have been working on the project together with their manager, who also has this at heart and also travels every year to Gozo to really participate in the last event. So thank you, and have a good evening, and let's enjoy it. Thanks.
Thank you, Ms. Toma, for your intervention. I now invite our panel of judges to please take a seat at the front. Now I leave you to the first pitch of the night. I invite Maria Catania. She will be presenting her idea, Gozo Green Exchange. May I remind all contestants that you have 10 minutes to present your pitch. Another 10 minutes will be allocated to the panel of business experts for them to make their questions. Thank you.
Good evening. So, my name is Maria Catania. I would like to thank you for this opportunity. Today I'm going to present the Gozo Green Exchange. So everyone knows that there is a problem regarding the environment and the waste. So these are that people are throwing away. People are throwing away perfectly usable items, and they are buying new ones to replace them. And landfills are being filled with these items. So the solution is that maybe to have this in a waste reduction at an affordable, good for the community, and also to impact the environment. So the concept of this solution is based on having, the idea is having a donation center that items are being donated and they are receiving points in the return, where these items are being repaired or refurbished in either where they need to be, and then they are sold for goods, like sold to the community and at affordable items. So the key feature is having the donating center, having the repair and refurbished workshops and eco-friendly retail stores, having also the revenue generation for sustainability, and for future ideas is the education programs and workshops. So the benefits are waste reduction that are at an affordable price, as I mentioned before, and that it will give more skills and more people to be employed. So how it works. So a donor comes to donate the item. They are giving points. The item is refurbished or repaired, and it is being sold. What type of items am I mentioning? These are furniture, electronics, clothing and textiles, household goods, and sports equipment. And potential partners can be the local government and environmental agencies, business and retailers, community groups and schools, and recycle centers. So what are the marketing opportunities? So demand for sustainability. So these are rising demands for eco-friendly products, which provides refurbished and upcycling items. Second is growing circular economy, contributes to the circular economy by keeping products in use longer, by reducing their life cycle. Affordable alternatives, so these are by refurbishing, they will rise the living cost and consumers look for the alternative affordable side. Support from government and environmental agencies, these increase focus on waste reduction and sustainable. And it will also create job opportunities for everyone, so like repairers, carpenters, and electronicers. So the business model is that it is donation-based system. So the individuals donate unwanted items, then they are given points, then the refurbishers, it will refurbish the item for extended life cycle and the new products, lowering the environmental impact. It will also be an eco-friendly retail store, so refurbished goods are sold at affordable prices and for local communities. By this revenue, the sales will be refurbished, more items can be brought in, they can be fixed and resold. And as I said, for future education programs, for it to be a DIY repairs, upcycling, and everything. So, from the earlier success in donations, strong local interest in donating unwanted items. These are initially operations in a rented garage or anything that can be found. Then, as I said, the plot operation. Then community engagement. So the community is asked to bring their items over instead of throwing them in the waste field. These items are harming the environment, and being that not a lot of these items are produced in the Maltese and Gosden Islands, they cannot, they are being transported here. Partnerships and supports earlier discussed with maybe governments and environmental groups, potential partners with schools, and as I said, revenue generation and future growth for it to have a permanent building, for it to even have transportation vans, so the donors can also call and people can go for them, and giving them more liability for more items to be brought. So, the incentive donation is for them to actually bring the items, for them to have more the raising of awareness of what is happening with these by asking the community to bring them, even promoting it in schools and everything. Regarding by starting with the garage, then all of the investment items, all of the investment money can be brought to reinvest it after. And also marketing. If the population, the community does not know about what's happening with throwing away good items, they won't help in keeping the environment more clean. So the competitors are local second-hand stores, those that are selling items, but they are not repairing them, so they are just selling the items. Recycle centers, which they call, and they just collect the items and they recycle it. Charity shops and online marketplace. People can do it from their own home. They put it online and tell them, here, I have this item, I want to sell it, and according. The unique value is having the competitive edge from all competitors is that combines the donation, the repairs, and the resales under this business model. It also has the points-based system, and also for further considerations and education workshops for people to actually know and learn how something can be actually repaired, something small or everything. So from the financial aspects, these are based from other startups. We can see that in total, it is, for it to start, it's about 18,000. And from revenue projections from year to year, it increases by 30,000 each time. From cost projections, it increased 20,000 per year. We are looking forward to 3 years till now. From the first year, we are looking at rent, wages, utilities, and repair materials. From the second year, we are looking at expansion and costs. And third year, we are looking at transportation van and larger production inventory. And in total of the cost projection and the revenue, we have 10,000 profit in the first year, and every year it increases by 10,000. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria, for your pitch. I now invite the panel to make their questions. May I please remind you that you also have 10 minutes. Thank you.
All right, it's working. Thanks for the presentation. I think it's a good idea, and also your delivery was good. The idea also fits, I think, very well with an issue that we are facing as an island, and will be facing more in the coming years, mirroring the socio-economic development of the island. So it fits very well with addressing an issue that we have. I have some questions and some comments. So I haven't really understood the idea behind the points, because if I recall well, you said those that bring stuff to be repaired are giving points, and you haven't, in my opinion, explained why and to what use these points will be put. And another question or another issue is with the repairing of goods, because to repair some goods you need a certain level of skills, or you know what you're doing. And I think in that area the business model might face some pressures, because it's difficult to find skills workers to carry out such work. And another thing that I wanted to say is also the difference between your model and second class, for example, not second class, those charity shops and second-hand shops and stuff like this. So I think you should also explain a little bit where your model fits in, and the advantages that your business model has over your competitors, so to put it.
For the first part of the points-based system, so the donors are given points, and then in the future they can come to the store or whatever it's going to be, and they can buy items with them. For the second part, yes, I know it's going to be hard to find people to actually refurbish and repair those stuff, but there are a lot of people that are going abroad to find these type of jobs, because there is very limited. And if we can target those to not go abroad and actually stay, it can actually help even building more of a community, being that the workers are going to be also from part of the community. The items are to be, if they are at a state that they cannot be repaired, they can still be kept and can be used also for spare parts for other items. The third question was, can please?
The third question was about the advantages that your model or your business idea has over its competitors, for example, second-class shops and stuff like this.
So the advantage is that the items that they are actually buying are actually checked by professionals, or whatever you can call them, and they are good in the sense that they are being repaired, and not, you don't know what you're buying from other stores, if it actually works, if it is actually, I don't know, torn or has holes in it. You don't have that time to check it or put it to the electricity and check if it works.
Thank you. Thank you for the presentation and for answering our questions. Well done for also being here. So well done for the initiative. A couple of questions I had. First of all, about the points, you could possibly explain it in the presentation and also open it up to other shops, for example, that they get rewards from other shops. Something I wanted to also bring up and as well in line with the previous question on the business model, it will be difficult to find people to repair and the costs will start going up. Maybe give us a bit of an explanation as to, first of all, why this idea would be targeting Gozo. Sort of, was there any particular reason why it is Gozo oriented, or did you do any research of the situation in Gozo? And this leads me to another point, that potentially to start reducing the difficulty of finding people is to identify where there's a bigger gap in the market of people throwing out things and needing and wanting second-hand, to focus on a specific item rather than be furniture, electronics, clothes, and be everything for everyone, which is a bit difficult to find people who can do that and be available. To identify a niche, so do some more research to identifying what is available and what people want, so that you can focus, maybe be the place for furniture, or be the place for electronics, be the place for kitchen appliances, whatever it is. So that would be my suggestion, or maybe you already did some research on identifying that particular niche and why Gozo.
So regarding to why Gozo, we can say that there isn't an airport here, so you can say that transporting items to be sold is being very difficult, being that you need to transport it to Malta, then from Malta you need to bring it to Gozo. So it's actually having more transportation than it needs to have. And being that it is why Gozo, because everyone is like a community, everyone knows everyone. Not like, I don't know, Malta from my end, it's if people come to talk to me, I don't know them, I don't talk to them. I believe here it's much more than a community. Everyone talks to everyone. Everyone passes from the same places. So being that it is a small island, everyone can, I don't know if the garage is based in Rabat, everyone needs to pass from there at one point or a time. So being that if one takes something, put it in their car, and then while driving they stop by and just give it and donate it. I believe that could actually work for Gozo.
Thanks for the presentation, and I liked the fact that you thought of adding the value, the idea behind it, that you're not just selling second-hand things, but you're sort of like, where possible, repairing them and also upcycling. I have a couple of questions. The first one, and you made reference even when it comes to competitors. How are you planning to promote yourself, and why they should bring stuff to your enterprise rather than take it to civic amenities or charity shops? And the other thing, it relates a bit to what my colleague says. Are you planning to be accepting every kind of item, or are you going to start off by accepting certain type of items to your shop?
So with regards to your last question, according to what workers I'm going to find, I'm going to accept the items. So for example, if I'm going to find an electrician, I'm going to accept items that can be fixed by the electrician. Items won't be accepted if there is no one to repair the items. Now, regarding to your first question?
First question was more focused on how are you going to market yourself? So people, rather than going to a charity shop or civic amenity, they will come to you to donate.
So by that, the marketing can be like telling the people, one, about the environmental issues that is happening around. and two, telling them that they are also benefiting them. That's why the point system is brought up, so that in the future they can actually buy items if they want to. We're not forcing the person to buy from us. Thank you.
Thank you. I would now like to invite George Abela. He will be presenting his speech, Living in the Digital Era. Thank you and good luck.
Hello, good evening. First of all, I'm George Abela, and I'm very proud to be here tonight presenting my proposal, WTG, Waste to Gold. I admit it wasn't easy getting to this point since I did it only in a span of 2 weeks' time. I also admit that I couldn't lose this amazing opportunity since it's a unique opportunity to make a proposal that can contribute to a greener, cleaner, and more sustainable Gozo. Living in the digital era. As we are living in the digital era, one cannot imagine today's society without any technological advancement. Thus, with this high demand due to this technological era, many financial and other companies that have to do with this technological advancement have made billions of products worldwide, therefore producing mass e-waste globally. Consequently, millions of these end up in waste facilities each year, contributing to 2.7% of the world's waste globally. That's throwing 800 laptops or any other electronic device per second, which is utterly mind-blowing. It is estimated globally that only 12.5% of this e-waste is recycled through these type of facilities. And the rest obviously is thrown and discarded away illegally, which contributes to hazardous and toxic consequences. These toxic and hazardous consequences can affect not only human health, but can destroy totally our natural environment. Even climate change, it plays a major role in climate change due to the destruction of the natural environment. The electronic waste is considered hazardous, contributing to the 70% of the world's toxic waste. But the real question is, how is Gozo affected by this challenge? Every global reality has its effects also on the Maltese Islands and here in Gozo. And here are some proven examples on how e-waste directly affecting our environment, which ultimately result to health-related problems. First of all, it causes air pollution. Every year, the number of respiratory infections and other health issues regarding respiratory system, for example, lung cancer, asthma, and even hay fever, are increasing drastically, especially here in Gozo and even Malta. Second of all, contamination of our underwater reservoir and drinking water, which is very concerning for us Maltese people, since we are literally destroying our only water source. Third, soil contamination. Every year we are experiencing tree and vegetation dying due to poor soil. And last but not least, even seawater contamination, where fishermen state that seawater contamination is contributing to less fish fertilization and also contaminated sea species to our Gozitan consumers. They even state that they never seen such massacres that they see today when they go fishing and see schools of fish floating dead on the surface. All these examples I just stated are proven, and if the e-waste system and management here in Gozo is not addressed with its full attention needed, in my humble opinion, we are heading to a point of no return. The Maltese island's footprint, when compared to other large countries, is quite relatively small. And this is even more concerning, since it's just a matter of time until the water table, our natural resource of water, the soil as well as the sea, are fully contaminated. What are the biggest sources of e-waste in Malta? And how many waste is generated in Malta and Gozo? Common sources of e-waste include televisions, computers, mobile phones, and any other type of home appliance, ranging from conditioners, children's toys, washing machines, and many more. Real waste generations in Malta and Gozo. According to the official statistics published by the National Statistics Office in Malta, the NSO, the total generation of solid waste in Malta during 2022 amounted to 2.6 tons, increasing by 4.4% when compared to 2021. Hazardous waste increased by 6.1%, or 2,624 tons. In 2022, it was already clear that the most significant increase in waste generation was the hazardous waste related to e-waste. This proposal is centered mainly on waste reduction. Therefore, it will contribute to a greener and more sustainable Gozo. A proposal in which Gozitans are invited in order to collaborate to transform a global challenge into regional pride. It's being proposed to create a public information campaign, industrial zone where e-waste is collected and separated, the creation of the first Gozo precious metal refinery. The public information campaign is where we enhance awareness and education, educate the public on e-waste disposal's importance and risks, promote awareness of collection and recycling options, engaging the general Gozo public, create accessible collection points, establish convenient and accessible collection spots for e-waste throughout the country, retail stores or designated zones, simplifying the process to dispose of their electronic waste responsibly. Industrial zone where e-waste material is collected and separated. Application with the Malta Industrial Parks to provide industrial space in Gozo where e-waste is disposed. Purchasing of machinery and equipment, which include, first of all, waste disposable machines, electric vehicles to collect waste and dispose, machinery to be used to separate hard metals from plastics and other unwanted materials. Provide also training and capacity building, delivery training and capacity building programs for workers engaged in the e-waste management needed. Foster also collaboration between public and private sectors, where we encourage participants from private sectors to collaborate with us in order to enhance the company's not profitability, but the company's goal to reduce the waste in Gozo. As well as market research, to search for the best markets where non-metal material used in electronic waste could be exported. The creation of the first Gozo's precious metal refinery. Throughout Malta industrial parks and Malta Enterprise, an industrial place should be identified to start producing precious metal bars. The following is the list of employees which, in my opinion, are necessary to start operating. Obviously, a CEO, 3 administrative staff, 2 communication officers, marketing strategy manager, 3 truck drivers, and 5 unskilled personnel. The preliminary financial projections are the rental of industrial space excuse me, from the Malta industrial parks at €3.88 per square meter, which for 2,500 square meters for recycling plant would amount to €5,829 per month. 1,000 square meters for refinery, which would amount to 3,880 per month. Purchasing of 3 electric trucks, 180,000. Purchasing of public deposit machines, which would be 15,000. Purchasing of machinery and marketing campaigns, which would be 350,000. Purchasing equipment needed for the transformation of metals extracted from the e-waste to solid quality certified metal bars, which would be around 400,000. And human resources, 311,000. National and European financing schemes, which would be the benefits from the Ministry for Gozo and Planning financial and tax credit schemes. The marketing, which we would use for the marketing scheme, which is 30% of all costs, which would amount to 175,000. The benefits from EU funding programs, 48% on machinery and equipment, which would amount to 371,040,000. Benefits from Jobs Plus Employment Entity of 45% of annual salary for the first 3 years, which would amount to 140,085,000 per year. Benefits from Malta Enterprise, startups, and other benefits projection of 250,000. The production projections, where the first year there would be a collection of 5 tons of e-waste, which would be around 175,000 in profits from the extraction of metal bars. Another 1,500 from the plastic waste trading. In the second year, there would be a collection of about 8 tons of e-waste, which would amount to something about 280,000 from just the extraction of precious metals. And again, 2,400 from plastic waste trading. On the third year, there would be ideally a collection of 15 tons of e-waste, totaling a 525,000 from the extraction of precious metals and 4,500 from plastic waste trading. Here I've made a simple profit and loss chart where we can see the first year there is the initial investment, all the benefits, then the third column, the income, and fourth, the total between the income and the benefits, and obviously the profit and loss. The first year we would go underneath, the second year as well, and then we would see the first surplus at the third year, which would supposedly start to make profit about the sixth year. Facing global challenges with innovation. Malta has a history of resilience in global challenges from the Second World War to the recent COVID-19 pandemic. Through this proposal, I am to show that today's e-waste challenge can not only create a new business avenue, but also contribute positively to our environment and provide sustainable jobs in Gozo. According to my preliminary financial projections, which should be confirmed by the professional accountant or financial auditor, at the third operative year, a surplus will be registered, as already mentioned. So, I hope that my proposal is in line within your vision and presents an idea based on waste reduction, contributing to greener, cleaner, and sustainable Gozo. I couldn't think of a better proposal, honestly, for the benefit of the general Gozo community and its environment while making a profit. Similar business activity taking place in Malta, there is, but it's different from this model because the similar activity taking place is where the Maltese government sells the precious metal to outside countries, but it doesn't utilize it and make it in precious metal bars here in Malta and Gozo. That's all from my side.
Thank you. I would now like to invite the panel to make their questions.
Hi. Thank you, George, for the presentation. Well done. I think before with Maria, I said you needed to show more statistics and data of your niche market. I think you went to another side of the story because you spent about 7 minutes of your meant to be 10 explaining the problem and giving real data on the problem. So as feedback, positive feedback, constructive feedback for next time is to focus more on the solution, because then you had to rush through the solution. And in fact, my question to you would be how and what happens then to the metals that you're extracting? How are you then converting that into income? How are you selling it? Where are you? What will you be offering to people in terms of sales to be able to generate the revenue you showed? And the other thing is, how will you encourage people to give you this waste to you when they at the moment they get rid of it in whatever is convenient for them, and maybe coming to you is not that convenient. So that would be my question. Another comment that I would like to put forward to you is to also try to start smaller, because you immediately went with 3 delivery truck drivers. You went immediately with the full suite. So one suggestion would be, when you're starting off something new, is to try to start small and grow according to your demand.
Thank you, first of all. So for your second question about how would the people give you their waste? So my ideology was that we would give incentives to the Gozotans that would be either in 2 ways. Either they take a small incentive for the amount of waste given to the company, for example, in money, like the BCRS vouchers. But rather than that, the idea wasn't to give another form of tax to the customers, the people giving the waste. But the initial idea was that according to the ratio of weight of waste they give to the company, they would get small metal bars. according to the ratio. So by this, we would engage the Gozitans more to keep on giving the company this waste, therefore getting obviously bigger and more valuable metal bars. Sorry about the time. And honestly, about beginning too big, I know it's quite a problem, yet I have some, not financial aid, but in order for trucks, this was just the idea. But for example, some blood relatives are in construction and can help with trucks as well. As customers to sell, I haven't quite had the time yet to think about it that much, yet I'm quite sure that the market for these precious metals is quite large. Not here only in the Maltese Islands, but mainly internationally, the market. Welcome.
So thanks, George, for your presentation. Like my colleague here, Matthew, I would encourage you to use your time wisely, because here you were safe enough that you went over your time. It could be that in other situation when people tell you your time is up, because in fact I was thinking when he's going to get to his business proposal. So I have a couple of questions for you, and to be honest, I use my mobile phone to make a quick search as well online. I think, did you check how much you would need, how much, for example, from mobile phones, I know that you can extract gold. How much mobile phones you would need, for example, to extract precious metals, to make it sustainable, to make the refinery sustainable. Another question I have is, who are your competitors? I think there are a lot of competitors in the area. Maybe I think the interesting part is that you're focusing on e-waste. So you're not going into competing with this junkyard companies that collect any kind of like. And how are you also going to get people, instead of going to civic communities, coming to you?
So, for the last question, I thought that the incentives would be enough for the people to come for us to give us the waste, rather than, for example, take it more easy and just throw them away somewhere else. As competition, I think it would be more on an international scale rather than locally, where the local market isn't on producing the gold. There isn't any producing gold here locally, but rather selling. So this could be of an advantage to the market locally, but also to the market internationally, where there you can find a lot of other competitors, but we would try to keep our selling as low as possible and make a good marketing while having a good product to sell. Therefore, having the best for the customers to choose. For the other question that you asked me, about how many mobile phones you need and how many devices you need to create gold, I'm not quite sure about that, because they differ. In every object, in every device, the amount differs. Therefore, I have no official amount how much you need, but I'm quite sure that with the amount that I presented of how much waste we have here in Gozo only, that amount, therefore I think it's enough to create a profit with that amount of waste.
I think it's my turn now. Being the third one, I'll probably risk repeating some of the arguments. To be a little bit different, I was going to ask roughly the same question as Simon. So I think you should explore more the ratio of metals and precious metals that you can extract from things that are brought to you. Because I think in terms of precious metal and gold and stuff like this, I think the ratios should be small. If it's not small, the equipment will be very expensive. So you should think a little bit more about this point. And another point that I would like to point out is how to create demand from the market for people to come over and bring stuff to you, because they have another option, for example, to go to the waste facilities and leave things there. So an incentive to bring them to you. And then, on the other hand, to generate revenue. So for me, it wasn't very clear the way that you intend to generate revenue apart from, for example, selling the goods extracted from goods. So I think you should explore more on that. Apart from this, I think the idea is I think you showed courage to come up with something, I think, quite innovative and stuff like this. So on this point, well done, because I think you showed courage to present something that is not run of the mill. So well done.
Thank you.
Thank you. I would now like to invite you to hear the final pitch by Hili Shwirab to present her concept, It-Tiswija, the Repair Cafe. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for gathering here to listen to my pitch and all these wonderful pitches that we have heard so far. So I want to start my presentation with a question. How many of you have, in the past 3 months, thrown something away just because they didn't have the time to repair it, or maybe they didn't have the effort or the means, or even the know-how? Think about it. I think that some of us, me being the first one, has thrown something away just to the lack of another option. This use and dispose culture has brought us to a crisis in Gozo. My name is Hili Shwirab, and today I'm here to present It-Tiswija, the Repair Cafe. It-Tiswija envisions a solution. It-Tiswija envisions a circular economy hub where the community connects, reduces waste, and creates access to affordable and repurposed goods. Let's take a closer look at how It-Tiswija can create a lasting impact. I think that everyone is on the same page here. Gozo is at a very critical juncture when it comes to its waste management journey. Gozo just covers 67 square meters in the kilometers on the Mediterranean map. The island's small land area is under immense strain from rising consumerism. When I was preparing this presentation, I found out that around 60% of all things that end up in landfills can be easily repurposed. So imagine Matab, half the size that it is right now. But this isn't just an environmental crisis, it's also a social crisis. We know that with the cost of living crisis, many families cannot really afford buying new stuff. So, on one hand, we have a reality where people are constantly discarding things, while on the other hand, we are faced with a reality where people cannot afford basic goods, where parents are struck when their children need a new school bag because they simply cannot afford to get them a new school bag. So Tiswia will divert the waste from landfills, repair them, and offer them at reduced prices. This initiative doesn't just address waste. This initiative gives items a second life and also helps to alleviate the burden on other people's lives. So, can we turn waste into an opportunity value and maybe even make it a hub for skill development? Yes, Tiswia will empower the community. It will have a target audience and a target clientele, which are interdependent. For example, students can gain hands-on experience in trades like tailoring and carpentry when they come to the cafe to either offer apprenticeships or else watch the hands-on experience of the repairing. Elderly individuals, we all know that Gozo has an aging population. It's a problem that we are facing. A lot of elderly individuals that have so much to offer sometimes end up sidelined, but here they can offer their skills and stay connected with the rest of the community. We can also find that Tiswia will cater to expats. The idea of repair cafe is quite engaged in other countries. Unfortunately, in Gozo, we only have 2 charity shops, and there is a repair facility at Talkus, but it is very underutilized. So Tiswia would revolve this. Back to the expats. Expats looking to engage with local culture can find an inclusive platform for collaboration at Tiswia. We also aim to involve local tradespeople. How many times we have been saying that our trade is dying, that with the closure of trade schools, we have lost a niche of people that before used to earn their living by engaging in trade. Tiswia aims to resolve this as well. Tiswia will create workshops. Workshops led by experts, by local experts, will be held bi-monthly. They will empower the attendees to repair their own belongings while reviving traditional trades that are at the risk of dying out. By teaching these skills, Tiswia not only reduces waste, but creates a culture of pride and sustainability. Gozo has been known for its trades. The people of Gozo have been said to have the hands of gold when it came to being carpenters, tailors. But unfortunately, around my peers, around people of my own age, these are few and far in between. However, I don't think that the people of Gozo have changed. I do believe that we still have those skills in our blood, and we can hone them quite well. To succeed, Tiswia will be strategically located in a central, accessible area of Gozo, close to public transports and other amenities. Tiswia is designed to sustain itself through a mix of revenue streams. Here's how it works. Repaired items will be sold at affordable fees to low-income families. For more complex repairs, a higher fee is charged. And workshop participation will also generate additional revenue. Tiswia will partner with local businesses and schools like Amcast. This will provide tool donations and also sponsorships. EU grants and public funds, such as green grants and the Business First schemes. In fact, here we have an additional benefit since being Gozotan, Business First offers several schemes and initiatives which we can benefit from, especially when it comes to employee salary subsidies. This approach ensures that Tiswia will remain resilient and scalable, with minimal reliance on heavy initial capital. Financial sustainability is key to Tiswia's longevity. Collaboration with Gozo's businesses, schools, and vocational programs will be key. Here is where NGOs come into play. NGOs have several programs that are sadly slightly underfunded here. So Tiswia will also serve as a hub for all NGOs. I can see people from NGOs like Audish, etc., which will definitely need some repairs, and these repairs to be done at cheap cost. So Tiswia will offer incentives to NGOs, and therefore it will be a sort of voluntary organizations helping other voluntary organizations. Of course, no project is without its challenging. Tiswia needs to be fueled from somewhere. Recruiting skilled tradespeople may prove tough, given Gozo's small population. However, I am confident that we can offer competitive wages and volunteer incentives. There are already a lot of schemes where skilled tradespeople are looking to work. I am referring to the MCAST apprenticeship programs, where a lot of students my age sometimes struggle to find places where they can do an apprenticeship, where a lot of my fellow Gozotan students have to do their apprenticeship in Malta. Tiswia would be a hub where people can do their apprenticeships while they are studying in Gozo. I think that the majority of you have studied in Malta and they know the hassle of commuting back and forth. So, our results are impactful. Each thing that we repair will mean that one family has one less expense to build, from maybe darning a pair of socks to repairing a washing machine. Here I have prepared a statement of profit and loss, which I will be distributing to the judges. The impact of Tiswia goes beyond its numbers. In my projected profit and loss statement, in the first year, I found out that it would be very difficult to make a profit. In fact, in the first year, we will register a loss of about €2,000. However, in my projections for the next 2 years, we will be able to break even and even register a net profit of 11,000 by our third year of operation. So I am quite sure that our initial hurdle will be easily overcome. Tiswia's vision does not stop in Gozo. For our future plans, should we, and I am confident that we will, be able to be successful, we can even scale in Malta, where to date and to my knowledge, there are no large-scale projects of this size. And with exactly as that time stop flashed, thank you for your time and attention. Tiswia is more than a business idea. It's a movement that shows how community-driven solutions can tackle big challenges. By reducing waste, empowering individuals, and making essential goods accessible, we're creating a better future for Gozo and beyond. I look forward to your questions.
Thank you, Haley.
So, first of all, well done. And I like the fact you used the name of Tiswia a number of times, and I think all of us know what the name is going to be, and I think it's quite catchy. I have a similar question which I asked Maria. Will you be first focusing on specific repair objects, or are you going to be accepting everything?
So I have taken a small look at the niches and the courses that are offered locally. For example, finding people who are skilled at tailoring will not be a large problem in Gozo. However, maybe finding a mechanic would be slightly problematic. However, we can cater to this by finding at least one expert person, which we will collaborate on, obviously with a handsome remuneration on these things, and they could maybe bring their own apprenticeships, or else we can get apprenticeships through even EU schemes.
All right, okay. And another question that I have is, besides, so like you creating this hub, which I like, the concept of the cafe, are you foreseeing is just people coming in to repair things, or you mentioned, if I understood you well, even foreigners being an opportunity where they can meet up, and you mentioned also elderly people where they can meet up. Are you seeing that there might be also an opportunity for having some form of an income stream with having people there?
Of course. I did not mention this in my statement of profit and loss because I did not want to increase expenses, especially as they would be slightly burdensome. However, I do believe that we could increase this by maybe adding some traditional food and locally prepared nourishing sources. It would certainly be ambitious, but it would certainly be a project that would enrich the Teswiyah hub, turning it from not just a place with four walls, but into a hub.
Thank you, and thanks for the presentation. The problem with, not the problem, but the central issue with recycling, especially electronic materials and stuff like this, is that very often it costs more to repair them to throw it away and buy new stuff. So you made reference to it in your presentation by saying that it might be part of a movement, for example, involving expats and elderly and stuff like this. So I think by doing that, you will be like tapping or trying to rebalance the cost and the revenue by making use of skills that might be there, and you encourage them to offer their services. Again, my comment is similar to Maria, the first presentation. How to generate enough revenue to make this sustainable and to make it profitable. Because at the end of the day, it could be done on a voluntary basis, for example, which I think there's a market for it. But to make it profitable and sustainable, you need to balance the books and make a profit at the end of the day. So the question is how to convince people to bring things to you, repair them at a cost, because to repair them there's always a cost, and then to sell them at a price that at the end of the day leave you with a profit.
Thank you for your question. It was something that I pondered myself when I was choosing this idea. However, I believe that this could be an opportunity. We are in Gozo. Gozo is a small island. Currently there aren't any business ideas like this on the market, so we will have a monopoly over this sort of idea. So you mentioned rightly that sometimes it costs more to repair. Teswiyah will definitely not be accepting things that are beyond repair. We will be evaluating the things that we receive and seeing if they actually make sense or not to repair. And I think that we will find we won't have any shortage of things to repair. In fact, you can see that so many things are dumped outside every day. Our valleys are steadily filled with things from bulky refuse. We see those newspaper reports nearly every day. And so I think that people will be more motivated to bring their items to Teswiyah just because they know that they can just take their item and leave it there. I did mention our corporate social vision. We are helping families in need. So we can sell the repurposed items at a low price. So even if a person doesn't want to repair this fridge because he's buying a new one and the fridge is just broken, so he brings it to us, we repair it, and we sell it at a lower price. Therefore, we can start increasing profitability. As Mr. Shkambri asked me, Teswiyah also shows potential to expand into other niches. For example, instead of being just a repair shop, we can also expand into being a sort of charity shop, a thrift shop. There are so many things that can be done with this business model. It can be easily tweaked to see which areas are more profitable. For example, I don't know, maybe mobile phone repairs will be more profitable than other areas. So then we will focus more on that. We will hire more skilled technicians from that area in order to maximize our profitability. Of course, until the idea gains a bit of popularity in Gozo. In fact, it's projected in my statement of profit and loss that first the idea will not be profitable. At first we'll make a loss. However, our project sessions bode well for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Hayley, for your presentation and your energy in the presentation. So well done for that. We obviously have a chance of collaborating here, to people collaborating in making their idea bigger. Something that you highlighted in your presentation, you started off with the question of how many of you had something to repair, and because you didn't have the time or no opportunity, you dumped it and bought another one. You also mentioned there's a repair center which is underutilized. So I think you need to really focus on breaking those issues. So how can I solve the issue of time? And if the current repair center is underutilized, why? So you need to focus on that, on attracting people to you. Now the idea of the cafe, of yes, creating a community that I actually spend some time and repair something, and I have the pride that I fixed it myself through one of the workshops, or fixing it sort of or collectively, and then I go home with whatever, a toaster being repaired, is one way. Yes, I agree with you. It could be developed further, and but how can we? What elements? What will you do to really attract people to come and spend the time or the energy to, if not repair it themselves, but at least even to bring it to you? So how will you bring that culture change? And that obviously will affect also your bottom line, because you need to spend money on educating people. And I'm not worried about not returning a profit after 1 year. No startup does that. But in the long run, how will you cater for such a big educational mindset changing campaign and still be profitable? So have you thought more on that front?
Okay, so we did mention about the existing center that's currently being underutilized. I believe that with the correct marketing, with the team of people that can actually connect to the growing generations about repairing things, I believe that this idea can be a great success. Because personally, I had not even heard about this place before I started doing research, and I consider myself to be quite the updated person. So a lot of in fact, we can see that a substantial chunk of our budget goes into marketing. If one person comes at Tessuia and they get their item repaired, the likelihood of them coming back and telling others will increase. And that's the advantage of having a business in Gozo. We aim to garner a very good reputation by word of mouth. Also, for example, you mentioned that the people won't be as incentivized to bring their items to us. We can also, at a later stage, create a home delivery service where we would just go around and pick the item up if it's a smaller, reasonably sized item. As well, regarding the shift change, I agree totally with you. It's something that is happening slowly over generations. I believe that this project will be far more profitable in 10 years' time than it is here, which bodes well for me, as it will, the company's profit and loss charts will continue to grow as time goes by. I believe that, for example, we can even do partnerships with the government that is currently collaborating, and we have been hearing about the Reduce Recycle campaign since we were young. I believe that Tessuia will be a way for people to see that this reduce, reuse, recycle thing is actually happening in practice through our hub, which will be in a centralized location where people will pass by and see it, which will probably employ someone that's a relative of yours. For example, I said that I would be employing students from MCAST. Probably their families and their relatives would hear about this idea, and they would actually be incentivized to come. Not if the place was just employing employees that were just there fixed, you have the same team of 12 people. But here at Tessuia, we would have constantly changing people, constantly changing young people that would encourage each other. I bank a lot on this word of mouth initiative. Personally, I visit a lot of thrift shops where I got these earrings for. Shout out to Deborah's Pre-Loved Boutique. And there's a community. This is where I got the idea from. There's a huge community of people that just go out on Saturday mornings, they scour the thrift shops, and they found some really unique pieces. the sense of community cannot be underestimated when it comes to initiatives like these. There are people that follow each other on Instagram that showcase startups like these. Some of my favorite creators online are people that showcase thrift businesses. With this regard, I could also be able to reach out to people that have started thrift businesses, and we could maybe collaborate together from Gozo to Malta. So I am very confidential in the idea.
I would now like to invite Mr. Ronald Sultana, Director of Tourism Economic Development within the Ministry of Gozo, and planning to make his remarks.
Thank you very much. A good evening to all. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed organizers, I will be delivering this speech on behalf of the Minister for Gozo and Planning, the Honorable Clint Camilleri. As we reach the close of today's inspiring Youth for Entrepreneurship event, I would like to take a moment to thank each one of you. Your presence, ideas, passion truly demonstrate that Gozo's future is in capable and caring hands. This year's theme, Waste Hackers, has challenged you to rethink one of our island's most critical issues, waste. Waste affects every corner of our society, from our natural environment to our economy and even our daily lives. But today, you've shown us that waste can also become a catalyst for change, a driving force towards innovation, opportunity, and a sustainable future for Gozo. The journey to a cleaner, greener Gozo requires continued commitment, not only from a government institution perspective and from the business side, but from every member of our community. So I urge you all, take what you have learned, refine your ideas, and keep pushing forward. Keep asking, how can I make a difference? What role can I play in making Gozo sustainable? These questions will be your guiding light. As Minister for Gozo, I can assure you that the government is here to support initiatives such as these. You understand that your ideas need backing, resources, and a community that believes in your potential. Through partnerships with local businesses, government initiatives, and collaborative projects, we will work together to make these visions a reality. And I am confident that the Gozo Business Chamber and other key partners will also be on your side. To all the young minds here today, thank you. Thank you for your vision, your courage, your dedication to Gozo's future. We are immensely proud of each of you, and we look forward to seeing how your ideas blossom and transform our community in the years to come. Together, as waste hackers, let us continue to innovate, inspire, and create a Gozo that we can proudly hand down to the next generation. Thank you, and congratulations to all.
Thank you for those remarks and for encouraging our youths to follow their passions and take care of our environment. From my end, I now invite Daniel Borch, CEO of the Gozo Business Chamber, to make his remarks. Usually he would be here, but today he's representing the Chamber in Japan for a trade delegation.
All right. Thank you very much. It's 5 in the morning here. But thank you, dear friends. Thank you for joining us today. And despite being away physically, I could not help but join in. On a personal level, this contest is very important to me, so I could not resist the temptation to ask them to let me in and pitch in. And this helps to show that in today's world, there are no barriers. The sky is the limit. It was marvelous from my end to hear Maria, George, and Haley all propose sustainable solution on how waste should be treated and also proposing innovative solutions. While here in Japan on a trade delegation, I had the opportunity to visit 2 innovation hubs. But one impressed me more, and you will ask me why. Its name was Quintbridge, and it was based on 3 floors, where youth move from being simply members on the first floor to collaborating on ideas on the second floor until they move to the third floor, where they are assigned their own office to actually develop their ideas. And I would love to see this for Gozo, as I believe that actually Gozo can be a motor for such ideas. But youth need to be given the right tools and help. And I believe that the digital sector, education, and the green economy hold immense potential. Youth are our future. And this platform shows how much youth can deliver when they are given a space where they can voice their ideas without fear of being judged, and in a safe space where they are appreciated and celebrated for their efforts. But we must leave them also the possibility to make mistakes and encourage them, as failures are always the start of an exciting journey. Our society, though, is not always appreciative of the fact that actually mistakes help people grow, especially when it comes to business. Finally, while thanking Maria, George, and Haley once again, let me thank the Gozo Business Chamber first, both past President and now President Michael Gallia, former President Joe Borch, for supporting me in this dream that each year we are seeing grow day by day. A special thanks goes to Jesmond and Joanne, to whom I left all the remaining issues for them to handle on their own while abroad. And a special thanks goes to Agenzia Zaza, without whom we would not be able to reach youth. They form an important link with a generation where speaking their own language is a must. I would also like to thank the Gozo Regional Development Authority, the Ministry for the Economy, Enterprise and Strategic Projects, and the J. Malta Foundation for their continued support year on year. I would also like to thank the Ministry for Gozo and Planning for the ongoing support provided to the Chamber throughout the whole year. Let us continue to dream. Let us be appreciative of our youth. Encourage them. And when they fall, help them get back on track. We should remember that we were there once, and therefore ensure them of our continued support. Thank you all, and good evening.
As we bring today's event to a close, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to each of you for your participation, including our CEO from abroad, and thank you to all those who pitched and those who attended, and to our panel of judges. It was surely an enjoyable night, and I hope that this experience has been as wonderful for you all as it has been for me. And for our young participants, well done on engaging and enriching our evening, and I wish you all the best for the future. Thank you once again, and good night, everyone.